that we won all the major battles of the war. They don't know that we won the war in 73, when we got the Paris Peace Accords. And got a promise as part of the Paris Peace Accords that if the North Vietnamese acted up again, then we would continue to resupply them. We left, and then the North Vietnamese kept coming down, and the South Vietnamese, who we promised to resupply, they were excellent soldiers. A lot of people defamed the South Vietnamese soldiers. They shouldn't have. They were great fighters. Look at what they did without our help until they ran out of ammunition, because the Democratic Congress didn't like a Republican president. Now that's all the truth. A lot of people don't know that the South Vietnamese didn't start the Vietnam War. South Vietnam didn't attack North Vietnam. North Vietnam attacked South Vietnam. These things are all true, everything I said. And nobody said that in the talks that we saw the other day, did they? That's right. They didn't. Wanda Wright, I went up and commended her afterward because she's the one that funds everything. She was so proud. By the way, I'm leaning on this. I got a bad hip, so I'm going to be limping around for a while until I get my hip surgery. And then next year I'm going to chase you guys and race up the road up there. Grand thoughts, you know. But anyway, make a long story short, Wanda started off well with talking about a lot of good stuff about, Tet Offensive, bloodiest year of the war. I'm the guy that always uses that language. I noticed a lot of language she used sounded like some of the stuff that I've written. It's okay. They say emulation is the greatest form of flattery. She went into that, talked about how brutal the war was, the communists, this, that, and the other. And then she started talking about her and her daddy. She loved her daddy. I don't remember her saying anything how great or what a good job the Vietnam veterans did. Did she say anything? No, she didn't. It was glaringly omitted. The reason why I do this, people, is because nobody else fucking honors you. See, I'll insult you and I'll tease you and all that other stuff, but you guys are high on my list because you served your country when your country deserted you. And you did a good job. As I've said before, I'll say it again. You were the best soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guard that our country ever had. It wasn't World War II, and no offense, we've got some of the new guys here. It's not the new guys. You guys were the best of the best. And nobody fucking knows it.
Yeah.
And as long as I'm around, and I don't care who in the fuck I piss off, I'm going to make sure they do know it. And this is why we do these things out here. And thank you for being out here. We're thinned out a little bit, and I'm sorry I say bad words in front of your kids. I didn't see them there before. They've heard them before? Okay, good. Yeah, but I say it with more emotion than they did. Okay. But to all of our Vietnamese friends and allies, we're proud, I am proud to have served you and served with you, okay? And I mean that. And I'm sorry that our country betrayed you. Our country did, our politicians. Our military didn't, but our politicians did. To all of those who served in the Vietnam War, you are the best of the best. It's just, I was going to say my humble opinion, but those of you who know me know it wouldn't be sincere if I said humble, okay? But in my opinion, you were the best of the best. And until the day I fucking die, I'm going to keep telling people that. I'm debating whether or not to write an email to Wanda and try to copy it to the governor, but the governor doesn't take the emails and all that stuff. Okay. And just say, Wanda, you did a good job, but this is this and this and this and this and this. But you see, then she'll go talk to the governor and say, Joe Abedili said we didn't do a good job for the Vietnam veterans. Which they didn't. Anyway, I got that out of my system. This time I want to introduce the best friend that the Vietnam veterans ever had in the state of Arizona, except for me, Colonel Joey Strickland, United States Army retired.
That's a great introduction, short and sweet.
Yeah.
First, I want to say good morning, veterans.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's an honor for me to be back here in Arizona. I flew in last night around midnight just to be here with you. I was one of the biggest honors that I had in my life, and I've worked for veterans for over 20 years since I retired from the United States Army, but in 2 states, Louisiana, my home state, and my second home state, Arizona. And I have children in each state and grandchildren in each state. And so those of us that are my age that know what that's like, you constantly bounce between two states visiting your children and your grandchildren. But I timed my visit to be here with you this morning. You know, we are celebrating the 50th commemoration of the Vietnam War. And we're obligated as a state of Arizona, state of Louisiana, all states, to host events honoring the courage and sacrifice of our Vietnam veterans. And I want to pay, before I go any further, special tribute to our South Vietnamese allies who also served with courage. And if truth be told, died and twice were wounded, and twice the numbers that their American counterparts did. The 58,000 dead on the wall. There was over 100,000 South Vietnamese that died in combat. And so, guys, I applaud your bravery and your sacrifice and your contribution. But I served 2 combat tours in Vietnam with the 1st Cavalry Division. I wasn't an officer. I was a grunt. I was a door gunner on a Huey for 2 years. Crashed twice. My body is beginning to show some of the pain from some of the stuff that we went through, that I went through, now that I'm 70 years old. But it's been my honor to serve as the Secretary of Veterans Affairs for over 5 years here in the state of Arizona. And during that 5 years, we did great things for Arizona veterans. We've totally renovated the Phoenix home. We put that big wrought iron fence around it to separate it from the VA Medical Center. We built the Tucson Veterans Home, beautiful facility. And we acquired the land for the veteran cemeteries at Marana and Flagstaff, and now those facilities are built. We assisted the Navajo in drawing up their blueprints for their 60-bed veterans home, which is going to be built in Chinle. And we also assisted